Hello and welcome to PMCLounge.com. In this video, we will be talking about the Burndown chart. Now, this does sound a bit violent, but this is basically a tool. Burndown chart is basically a tool in schedule management knowledge area that is used to measure your project's progress against the project's schedule. So it does look like something that you see on your screen right now, specifically the two lines, the blue one and the orange one. In this video, we will also look at an example burn down chart so that you understand how it is used, how it is created, and more about it. As always, if you're into reading article, first link in the description is going to take you to an article on this topic over at our official website pmclounge.com. So check that out. Also, like I said, this topic is part of schedule management knowledge area. So the second link is a playlist of every single video. That playlist contains every single video that we have covered in the schedule management knowledge area. So two important links, do check them out. That being clear, that being said, let's get started. A quick note, please hit the like button. We like you too. Hitting the like button seems to be the only way YouTube is going to let you know every time we upload new content. So let's talk about Burndown chart. This is basically an agile term. So if you are a project manager or a scrum master that is dealing with projects in an agile environment, it is likely that you would have heard about something like iteration burndown chart or the sprint burndown chart. When we say burn down chart, we are referring to the same burn down chart. We are talking about the same sprint or iteration burn down chart. This concept, like I said earlier, is part of schedule management knowledge area, specifically the control schedule process. And as you can see, this process lies under the monitoring and controlling process group. All these processes, everything around schedule management knowledge area is something that we have already discussed. Second link is going to take you to the playlist that contains videos on all of these. So as I was mentioning, Burndown chart is basically a visual tool and it helps you measure the progress of your project. How it does so is by giving you a quick snapshot view of the work that you are left to do versus the time you have with yourself. Now, this time is not for the entire project. This time is basically representing the time boxed iteration. Iteration could be a sprint. So time box could be, let's say, a 2 weeks time box. It could be a 3 weeks time box. It could be a 4 week sprint. It could be a 4 week iteration, right? So whatever the time box is for a specific iteration, for this iteration, the burn down chart is going to tell you what is the work that you have left to do versus the amount of time you have. Now, this will be clearer when we look at an example burn down chart in the coming slides. So do stick around. A quick reminder, if you like our work, if you like our services, which are totally free, do consider contributing over at pmclounge.com/contribute. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's take a look at a burn down chart example. Now, this is how a burn down chart looks like. First of all the features or the functionalities that your project team or your development team has committed to, it is estimated in terms of story points or basically tasks. And that is why you see ideal tasks remaining and actual tasks remaining. These are basically tasks that your engineering team has estimated the features or the functionalities of your project that needs to be delivered. Now, the total number of these tasks or total number of these stories, if you're coming from Jira world, so the total number of stories, story points, or tasks, this total number is basically the starting number on your y-axis. So this is the total number of tasks required to be accomplished for this time boxed iteration. Remember, this is not for the entire project. This is only for an iteration. It could be a 2 week sprint. it could be a 20-day iteration as well. So these are the total number of tasks that your project team needs to accomplish in this iteration. Now, the blue line represents the remaining number of story points or tasks if the team accomplishes the same amount of work each day. And this is an ideal scenario. And that is why you see this line is basically a straight line, because this line considers that your project team does the same amount of work every day. And as days goes by, right, as days go by, in this axis, the x-axis, as days go by, your remaining number of tasks, they go down. This is the total number of tasks required to be accomplished, close to 30. And as days go by and project team starts to accomplish tasks, this line basically comes down. This is what blue line represents, and this is the ideal scenario of your project team accomplishing same number of tasks every day. Now the red line, which is not as straight as you can see, it basically represents the actual number of story points or the actual number of tasks. And you can see both of these in the legend here as well. So in the actual world, the project team might not be able to accomplish same number of tasks every day. And as you can see, when the actual tasks remaining is higher than the ideal tasks remaining, you are basically late. This is the scenario that I just talked about. The actual number of tasks that are remaining at this point in time is basically higher than the ideal tasks that are remaining, right? Then the planned tasks, then what your schedule says, right? The number of tasks that you are left with on this date is basically lesser than the actual tasks that you are left with. So this means every time you see the red line higher than the blue line, this is basically signifying or signaling that you are late. But every time that you see that the red line is below the blue line, that means your project team has actually accomplished more tasks than they had planned for. This is the scenario that I'm drawing here. This is the one, right? So your team planned for, let's say, some amount of tasks that will be done by this date, right? Day, I believe 8.5, day 8, let's say for understanding sake. If this is day 8, your team planned for certain number of tasks to be done by this date, but your team has actually accomplished more than that. Your team has actually accomplished more tasks than they were supposed to accomplish by day 8. So this is how a burn down chart looks like. This is how this example is illustrating both the cases. In one case, when the red line is above the blue line, this means you are late. When the red line is below the blue line, this means you are early. So this is how a burn down chart looks like. So here's the question for this video before I let you go. What tool do you use to create the burn down chart? Do you use Jira? Do you use, let's say, Microsoft Project, Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint? What do you use to create your burn down chart? Do you even create burn down charts for your project? I think if you are working in an agile environment, you definitely would be creating them. So let me know in the comments, what tool do you use to do so? So that's all that we had in this video. I hope you got value out of it. I hope you were able to understand what burn down charts basically are. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to stay notified every time we upload new content. Also, don't forget to check out the website pmclounge.com, your number one free PMP resource. Thank you.